the old adage goes, a new challenger enters the fray. I, very recently, have uploaded a slightly outdated video about cloud gaming services. One from Microsoft, one from Google. And I go over what I think those cloud services are, whether they're the future, how good they are, what the pros and cons of each model are. And the day that I have this published on YouTube, Amazon go and announce their version of cloud gaming. There's not much news to go on yet. There's no application, there's no service at this precise moment in time, and when it does come out, I'm not going to have access to it because I don't own iOS devices, I don't own a PC or a Mac. So that's a negative from my perspective already. But what I want to do is I want to go through an Engadget article and just tick off some points about this particular service and do with that as I did with xCloud and Stadia. So the first thing to address is the model. As I covered previously, Stadia is like your free console. There is no charge barrier to entry except the games that you want to play. You can sign up for Stadia with a Google account and then start playing with the first game purchase that you make. It's different to consoles because you have to buy a console and then buy the games, and it's different to Game Pass because that requires the £10.99 subscription fee to start working. Luna is slightly different. Luna seems to be built very much after the Prime Video streaming service. I have Prime Video. I pay a premium per month and I get all of the videos that come on there, all of the Amazon originals, and if I so want, I can purchase additional ones. But Prime Video has what it calls channels. So big one for me would be, say, the Funimation channel, where I can get all of my English dub anime. Another one would be some of the sporting channels, where you can watch live sport, reruns, that sort of thing. These channels come with an additional charge per month. So you have your basic $6.99 for the monthly Prime Video. If you then want to add on one of these additional channels, such as Funimation, that's an additional £4.99. It's all in one place. I only need the one application to access all of these videos. But what that means is that suddenly I am going from having a £6.99 subscription fee, which sounds great as a headline price, to possibly a £30, £40, £50 subscription fee to get all of the services that I want to watch. Luna, in their semi-interview with Engadget, cover off this sort of idea. They are looking to bring additional channels. There's only one confirmed so far, and that is Ubisoft. And they will be bringing day one releases, the likes of Assassin's Creed Valhalla, the likes of Immortals Phoenix Rising and Far Cry 6. So you're getting a very similar experience to what you get with Game Pass Ultimate, where you get day one game releases available for your monthly subscription. But Luna is $5.99 as a headline price, and that Ubisoft channel appears to be an additional $6. So to play the 100-ish titles that are going to be on Luna from the start, and these are games like Control, Resident Evil 7, Metro Exodus, games that have been out for quite a while already and are available either on existing platforms for a cheap second-hand price or on streaming services the likes of Metro Exodus for free with Google Stadia Plus at the moment, like it's Stadia Pro. So it's not enticing me, because for everything that I want to play, if they have a Ubisoft channel, if they have an EA channel, if they eventually somehow possibly after Microsoft's acquisition, have a Bethesda channel. If they're $6 each, roughly equating to £5, I'm suddenly paying £20, £25, £30 a month just for Luna. Whereas £11 a month, that £10.99 for Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, I have most of these games available there. I get the Xbox exclusives. And Stadia, I could buy any of the other third-party games that I wish to play, not to mention what comes there with their Pro subscription. I could have 2 subscriptions across Stadia and xCloud and play pretty much everything that's released other than Sony first-party exclusives and Nintendo first-party exclusives for £19, as opposed to £25, £30 that the Luna model is looking to charge. It's a different way of doing it, and for some people, it will be the right way. It all depends what you want to play, how you want to play it. Looking at it here, like Game Pass offers 150 titles, Stadia offers about 90 currently. Luna is going to sit somewhere in the middle, around the 100 mark. They've also got Twitch integration. Now, this Twitch integration is going to be a big thing. Amazon owns Twitch, like Google owns YouTube. They are making the same lofty claims that Google made with Stadia when it was first announced. The whole seamless integration with YouTube, having people jump in and play, showcase you playing the title, and it will start at will. It was a big claim from Google at the time. And they're only just rolling that out to their web versions of Stadia. Luna is trying to do that off the mark with Twitch. And I feel like the Twitch platform is much more prepared for that sort of integration, because it already has it with the likes of, say, Streamlabs or PlayStation 4 consoles. Like it's integrated well into other hardware and other services already. And a basic version will definitely be there at launch. Whether you can get all of the overlays and the alerts and such that you can if you're doing it all through a computer, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. It goes into early access in October. But that side of it is going to be quite big. And I can see for professional full-time streamers, Luna might be a very good proposition, because for 4 or 5 subs, you've got all of your gaming paid for, and it offers up contract options with Amazon and Twitch. My biggest gripe has been the devices that Luna will release on. For me, cloud gaming is meant to reach as many people as possible. There are many of us out here who don't own any form of PC. I don't own any form of PC except for work, and that's completely locked down, so I can't play games on that, I can't stream through that, or anything along those lines. The last time I had a PC was way back in 2014, I want to say, and it was getting very underused at that point because there were Chromecasts out and I was able to cast from my phone to my TV because streaming services were coming in. My laptop that I had back then, that used to be my media device, was getting used less and less. I was accessing the internet in the palm of my hand. Anything I wanted to view and read was here. And tablets brought a bigger, better browsing experience. And now that we've got tablets like the iPad Pro and the Galaxy Tab S7 Plus that bring you a big screen, a full keyboard and trackpad and pen support, they've got more fidelity than a lot of the laptops out there. But most of the world, most of the mobile consumers in this world are on Android. it covers a vastly wider range of people than iOS does. And I understand that Amazon's got a bit of a sweetheart deal somehow with Apple, that they've worked closely with them on Luna, this streaming service, to get it to work on iOS devices, unlike Stadia and unlike Xbox Game Pass, Ultimate Game Streaming, xCloud, whatever they're calling it nowadays. And they're using this progressive web application service to get it to work so that people can just access these games on their iOS devices. And I think what they've done there to make that happen and circumvent a lot of the iOS store issues and that 30% charge and having to register each game individually and have it download as an individual icon on people's home screens, I think that's brilliant. I think the work that they've put in there is massively helpful for people wanting to play these games. But if that work has been at the expense of a massive possible user base on Android that is covering so much more of your gamer base, the hardcore, the casual, the lapsed, the never picked up a controller gamer base, most of them are on Android. And as they've said in all of the interviews, it doesn't require the hardware. It can run on any age device because of the PWA, because of this progressive web application setup. So if people have an iPhone 5S or a HTC One from 2013, they can play on it, except that HTC One is not yet supported. Now, they do say it will be coming to Android within weeks of the early access launch in October. So by November time, possibly December at an outside, giving leeway for the remote working due to COVID. Such a big step into the gaming sphere. Trying to become a big player in game streaming. You shouldn't be leaving your biggest install base out at launch. In terms of how it's going to work, we don't know. Nobody's gone properly hands-on with it. Those who have, it's like a paragraph that long in big type. There's not a lot of detail out there about how it works, how it feels to play it. I'm hoping it plays much more like Stadia than xCloud. Because right now, for me, xCloud feels clunky. It feels like I'm playing remotely on a console. It feels like using remote play, but with more input lag. I'm hoping we get that smooth Stadia experience, the 4K 60 frames a second, 1440p on tablet screens that are able to do it, 1080p on phone screens, and locking at 60 frames a second. I'm hoping it offers that sort of experience, and I am intrigued to see if this channel option works and whether you can pick them up and drop them whenever you fancy, keeping your save states if you don't need a channel for a few months, like when Ubisoft doesn't release anything between, say, February and October. Can you take that channel off? Keep your save states from the games that you've been playing and then add it back on further down the line? Do these channels include every single bit of DLC for every game that comes out? There are still a lot of questions about Luna. There are still a lot of unknowns about Luna. And I feel it's going to end up in the same position where a lot of the coverage of this is going to come from the US, where internet speeds, frankly, suck. Internet services are not great. Like full-time streamers, the likes of Sir Demetrius, Mtashed, Blessius, and Mr. Fruit, regularly have issues uploading content, delivering streams, because their internet service providers are so unreliable. In places like India, for example, they're only just getting fiber infrastructure. Stadia hasn't got a foothold there. xCloud streaming hasn't had good reviews there. And I imagine Luna will be in the same position. Yet if you're in somewhere like South Korea, Japan, or China, you've got amazing internet access, minus maybe a bit of censorship in China. They can have the best streaming experience going. None of those need a console or a PC anymore because they can do it all on the phone or the tablet. And that's always going to be the concern right now. The underlying infrastructure across most of the globe, most of the Western world really, isn't good enough to support game streaming. The weight of that service. Look at what happened during lockdown in the UK. Netflix and Amazon had to lower their stream quality to 1080p during the workday because it puts that big a strain on the UK's infrastructure of internet. We're meant to be a developed country, and we can't run businesses and pleasure at the same time through our infrastructure. And that's always going to be the case. That's always going to be the downfall for the moment with game streaming services. And we're in the first generation. They haven't fully evolved yet. They may be able to build services, whether that be Amazon, Microsoft, or Google, that streamline the streaming, make it lightweight on ISPs, which means it could work much quicker, much better, at a much higher quality. Technology is moving at such a rate that we now have glass that can fold in phones. The Moto Razr has made a massive comeback with a full touchscreen availability. We have augmented reality glasses that people can wear and view the world around them with a heads-up display, very Halo style. And we have computers that sit in our pocket with millions more times processing power than the rocket that put man on the moon. Technology moves incredibly quick at this moment in time, and it will probably only increase in its fidelity, availability, and efficiency. In 2 to 3 years, game streaming might well be the premier game experience. But we're not there yet. And there's a lot of underlying infrastructure in a lot of these countries that aren't willing to put investment into it that is going to hold it back. I do, however, still think that game streaming is the future. And if Luna delivers what it's promising in these articles, in these announcements, having 3 big players in the space is healthy competition that will force all of them to get better, to offer better games, to offer better pricing, to offer better service. It can only be a good thing to add another player into that space. Bring in your Nvidia and Sony as well with their different takes upon it that will evolve over time to probably turn into something more akin to what the other 3 are doing. And this is the most competition that we've had in video games for a platform to play them on for a long, long time. And for us, for the consumers, for gamers, that can only be a good thing. I will cover Luna more as we get it. If I'm able to get hold of it at any point and cover it, I will do. I'm very interested to see how it stands up to Stadia and Xbox game streaming. I hope it's as good, if not better. But sound off in the comments. What do you guys think of this announcement? What do you think of the model of a base rate subscription with channels atop it? What do you think to it not being available on Android straight away? What do you think to the color scheme? Purple. I mean, I like purple personally, so I could go with that. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. Definitely going to cover it. as and when I can get it on Android devices. Sound off, let's have a conversation, let's talk about this new technology, the pros, the cons, and everything in between. I'd like to thank you all very much for tuning in. Do not forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. My name is Doragon, and until next time, folks, take care.